Political Pulse Live. I'm your host, co-host Mo, the unpolitician. Joined tonight again by Bill, our other co-host, Bill, the senator, Reichener. And hopefully, if we ever get a hold of her tonight, Lynn Sue will be joining us from a Marco Rubio event, and she'll be live streaming from that event, and we'll have it on the show as well. So hopefully, once things get going there, Lynn will connect with us, and we'll have that on the show. But tonight, we're going to continue on with some hot topics, things that it's on people's minds and no one else is talking about it. So Bill and I are going to talk about it. So Bill, what's going on in your mind tonight?
Well, it's all this talk about where our country is headed if we don't make a change in this election, right. Socialism or communism. I just want to bring up this point that tonight I found this out and I did a little research. And we're going to put California in the spotlight tonight.
Oh, spotlight tonight.
Yeah, we'll pick that one tonight. I know they're always spotlighted, but
right.
Gavin Newsom, the governor. So he's trying to pass a bill right now, AB 2098, which is basically restricting COVID treatments. And inside the bill, it says that if doctors are given misinformation or disinformation about the treatments of COVID, right, that they can lose their license. They go before the medical board and they can lose their license. But really the deep side of that is, and I've listened to a few doctors tonight talk about this, the deep side of it is that they're mandating that you have to have a vaccine. There's no alternative treatments.
Right.
Which is ridiculous because now we know that the vaccine doesn't really work. Right? I mean, Joe Biden literally went on the air at one point and said, if you take the vaccine, you won't get COVID, you won't get sick, you won't go to the hospital, and you won't die.
Right.
And we know that to be false, right?
Yes, we do.
And then these other alternative medicines, and I don't remember the names of them all, but the alternative medicines that people were taking were working and working fast.
Metformin, I think, was one of them, or what's that?
Hydrochlorine and chlor.
No, that wasn't that. It was some kind of horse treatment thing. I can't remember the name of it right now, but yeah. Ivermectin. There we go.
Yeah. So I mean, if you just want to talk about government overreaching and overstepping,
right?
This is a perfect example of them taking away our doctors' medical rights. People that went to school for medicine. And you have this clown of a governor going in there and saying, I know better.
Right.
This is what we're going to, and you're going to do this. Because Big Pharma is paying big money to make that man make a choice. Right? So, I mean, it's just showing you, if we don't start making changes in this country,
right,
start getting different leadership, and leadership that doesn't want to overstep our bounds and right, more home rule. Right? And medicine. When a governor starts making decisions about medicine, there's a problem.
I mean, he doesn't have a doctorate, like, right? He never went to med school, right? He's not Dr. Governor Newsom, right? No, Governor Dr. Gavin Newsom.
I mean, during the pandemic, Fauci was one of the highest paid people in the world.
Right.
While he was shutting down people's businesses and taking money out of everybody's pocket.
Right.
Right? That's disgusting. It's disgusting.
No,
and they get away with it time and time again.
And it's amazing too, because you mentioned Fauci. The amount of times that Fauci himself had misinformation or disinformation or lack of information or new information that led or something relative to this whole COVID pandemic. The whole premise of this thing was that no one knew what this thing was, right? The whole reason of us shutting down the whole country and giving out paychecks to people and shutting down businesses and arresting people for violating things was because there's a pandemic where no one knew what was happening. Chemical warfare, all kinds of things were coming up in conversation.
I think people in our government knew what was happening.
Well, no, listen, right. At this point in time, you and I both realized that.
And it was a great test of what they could do to shut this country down.
Correct.
And cheat people around.
Correct. But to that point now, it's like, okay, so now all of a sudden, everyone knows how to handle this thing that no one had ever encountered before. The best method to take care of it, the best therapy, the best treatment, whatever, is this vaccine. Mind you, there's multiple brands of vaccine. So we can't even say there's one specific vaccine because you have one with 2 dose, one with 1 dose, one with like a booster here, booster there, one with 5 boosters here. So it's like, which variation of this one therapy do we entrust our lives to?
Yeah.
And you bring up this as well. This is interesting that you bring this up because before we got on, I was watching another thing on Facebook or another article I'm reading about a 19-year-old football player who died suddenly. And it's like, somebody's like, are we just going to ignore these deaths of like young people just randomly dying? Because young athletic men just don't randomly die. I mean, unless it's a heat stroke, but it's starting to get cooler.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something's not right here. And most of these players, I don't know this kid's medical history, so I can't go out and say, yeah, it was the vaccine. But most of these colleges and football teams and programs required that you had the vaccine. So I think the odds are high in that he probably was vaccinated, you know, so.
Well, he was. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people are. Most people are, you know, for various reasons.
Right.
You go out of the country.
Right.
Travel. Couldn't go on a cruise. A lot of people were forced into vaccinations because their job or whatever they wanted to do required it. Right.
Yep. I've had friends with that same situation.
So, I mean, the whole point of this matter is that we can't have government stepping in our lives like this.
Agreed.
And mandating a vaccine that doesn't even work. So what's behind this vaccine is really the question. Why is it so important that they keep pushing this vaccine that doesn't work?
Somebody's cutting a check. Somebody's cutting a check. That's one thing. But go ahead.
Somebody needs to find out.
No, you're right. For one, there's somebody making a lot of money off of this. And then two, who's researching it? Who's paying for this kind of research information?
I want to know if anybody's listening to this or anybody gets a hold of this. I'd like them to get a hold of us and bring them on the show.
Right.
Because I want to know what information people have on what this chemical compound that they put together, what it's doing to our bodies.
Right.
Because it is doing something. And they won't let go of this thing. They won't let go of something that don't work.
Right.
I mean, I have friends that on my block, right? I'd go outside and they're walking around with a mask on outside. And they wouldn't come close to me because I wasn't wearing a mask.
Right.
And they were triple vaccinated, quadruple vaccinated. I don't know. Fucking guy had vaccinations coming out of his ass. Right? They go on a cruise and they get sick as hell.
Yep.
Right? Now, here's a guy who's vaccinated to the hill.
Mm-hmm.
That's not supposed to happen according to this medical world, what they're preaching.
Listen, Joe Biden was sick, I think it was 6 weeks or a long extended period of time that he was sick with COVID.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who's probably got all the boosters and all the required shots.
Yep.
Sick. His wife, the same thing. She was sick. Kamala Harris, the same thing. She was sick.
Yeah. Did Fauci ever get sick?
If he did, he probably hit it because
I don't know.
I think he did. I think he did get. I'm not 100% on that. I really got to fact check that. But if I do,
I'm going to fact check that right now, Lauren. I would
did
love
Fauci catch the Fauci? Did Fauci catch the Fauci? Was Fauci ever Faucinated? I mean, because all right. So I am not vaccinated.
In June 15th,
and he had it, right?
Dr. Fauci test positive for COVID
in 2021. So it wasn't like June 15th,
2022.
2022.
Yeah. Well, of course, the media spins it to, well, it's mild symptoms. All right. Well, you know what?
I had mild symptoms when I had COVID.
A lot of most healthy people did.
Listen, I think here's the thing. I've come to realize that at some point in time, the majority of people in this world had COVID. Whether they were vaccinated or not, you got COVID. And whether you got the vaccination or not, you got COVID a second and a third, possibly a fourth time.
Well, here, Dr. Fauci has been vaccinated against COVID and has received 2 booster doses. 2 booster doses. And he's got COVID. Right? The man preaching the medicine. It's going to save our lives. Yeah. So
I didn't have to wait in the long lines. Listen, I stayed safely at home, out of a line, out of all the waiting and getting stabbed. I don't like needles, but if I had to take a needle, I'll take a needle, but not a fan. So I wasn't going to go through all this to just find out it didn't work. You know, like my dad took the vaccine, and he was somebody that was reluctant, and he supports the science. He supports, you know, Fauci, and my dad's a, you know, lifelong Democrat. So, you know, he supported it, but he was skeptical. But for work purposes and travel purposes, he ended up taking the vaccine,
right,
and got COVID twice after.
Yeah. Well, you didn't take the vaccine?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not
so I unfortunately and reluctantly did, because I was going on a cruise,
and you couldn't,
and I couldn't get on the cruise. So I had to have the passport.
Right.
Let me tell you, I got so freaking sick. I got sicker from the vaccination than I did afterwards when I got COVID.
Yeah. No, I listen, I've seen people get sicker from the vaccination than they did with COVID.
And I will tell you, I think, you know, it took a while, but I think I got brain fog. Right? I mean, I felt some things my body weren't the same for a long time. Right. And, you know, I don't know if it was from the vaccine or just COVID or whatever it was from, but, you know, yeah, obviously COVID was a real deal.
No, and there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I had COVID at least 2 to 3 times. One of those times I was possibly a flu, but, you know, because I don't trust testing it either. But it was the time for sure I knew I had it. It was very unpleasant. You know, and everyone had different, you know, experiences with COVID. But there's people I know that had the extreme experiences that would still say, listen, educate yourself and make the right decision for you. Just don't get the vaccine because Fauci's telling you to get it.
Yeah.
Well, back to the point that you're trying to make about this. How dare a governor or any level of politician try to tell you that we're going to mandate this?
Yeah.
As
when
far
they
as
mandate it, you know there's something behind it.
Right. The only treatment method is going to be the vaccine.
So far, I've only heard California is the one that's going for that at this point. But I wouldn't be surprised if other Democratic states follow suit. Right?
No, absolutely. What's concerning is because again, one of the things that happened this past week, and now we're going to segue it, but tie it in still. You know, President Biden is on the news, and there's we're getting into the election season. We're trying to figure out what's the most important things in the election cycle. So the biggest thing this election that's concerning most Americans is the economy. Biggest issue overall. But for some odd reason, our focus is still, like you said, it's still coming, rearing its ugly head again, COVID. And then we're talking about, hold on, we got a comment here. Yep, no thanks. I'm not jabbed. My kids and husband aren't either. No mandating. That's right. No mandating. Right.
No mandating. Give me the option to not be jabbed. Hell out of our freaking business.
Yeah. Don't jab me. Keep your jabby jabs off of me. So that was from Kellyanne. So shout out to Kellyanne. Thank you, Kellyanne, for your question or your comment, and keep watching, share with your friends. So no, back to, exactly. Kellyanne agrees again. Exactly. I feel like she said that with some oomph too, like, exactly.
That's right.
But no, so again, these issues, he keeps bringing up COVID and bringing up the whole abortion issues and right to choice, right to life and these things. If you want the right to choose, make sure you vote. I'm like, but no one cares, Mr. President, about those things right now. We're talking about the economy. Like, why are we still talking about COVID 2 years later after, I stopped thinking about it? Like, I go out and live my life now. I don't think about COVID, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think about going to mask my face before walking in. That was a horrible experience, 2020. Oh, yeah. Having to, mask up before you go anywhere or, stay 6 feet from people or not being able to go to a restaurant or whatever.
That was all bullshit, too, right? Because you go to a restaurant, but you got to be masked to walk in. When you sit down, you take your mask off. So what we got? Air that knows what to do?
Yeah.
Air's like, all right, antigens, you can't go over here, but you can go over there.
Yeah.
It's just they made a joke out of us, was what they did, the government.
They absolutely did.
This whole thing.
They absolutely did. And I refuse to be a part of it. So now it's like, for some reason they've sold Californians the Kool-Aid on everything. Like on every left-wing agenda, California's bought the Kool-Aid, and it's like the
Because
prototype.
you got all these movie stars out there with all kinds of money that this shit doesn't affect.
And the
right?
influence.
And then you have most people over there just like, yeah, man, whatever, dude. Right? They're just a different breed in California. But, you know, yeah.
It's all that toxic air from those fires.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, the economy, they're figuring out a way to take control.
Right.
How do you take control of people? By their money,
yeah,
by their freedom.
Yep.
Right. And that's the two big agendas right now.
Correct. And their families.
The kids.
Their finance, their freedom, and their families.
Yeah.
And the family dynamic of what it represents.
Yeah.
And California is deteriorating in all three of those areas. Financially.
You look on the news today. You got all across the country in these Democratic run areas, you have violence, extreme violence. You have uprising theft. I mean, what is it going to take for people to wake up? What do we really need to do to people to wake them up to see that, and listen, I'm a Republican. You're a Republican. Lin Sue's a Republican. I'm not saying our party's perfect. There's nothing perfect about either party. But when you have one party that's so freaking extreme that they go to all kinds of measures to keep making us struggle and suffer,
right?
You got to start waking up and saying, we got to make a change here.
And not to say that either side don't have some extreme thinking. Both sides do, but there's some extreme wrong thinking on the other side, or some extreme manipulative thinking on the other side. That I'm like, how are people buying into that Kool-Aid? Like I can understand the right wing extreme thinking to a certain degree, because again, I'm Senator Rowe conservative, I'm Christian conservative, but there's just certain things that when you like try to just disrupt the family dynamic, when you're like, like today, my daughter called her because I joked around and I somehow said one of your siblings, right? And I was like, she corrected me. She's like, "You mean my sister?" And I was like, "You know what? You're right for saying sister, because there's people in this world that would prefer you say sibling." So I was like, "Thank you for correcting me," and Kellyanne agrees again. She, 100% super socialist and manipulation. That's exactly what's happening. So
I'll give you another example. Last night I was in I wouldn't call it a debate. It was a forum where I was with me and my opponent were together, and then there was supposed to be two others running for a house that were next to us. So only one of them showed up. The Democratic one, the one that's a Republican, didn't show up. So it was me and my opponent, and they were asking questions. And what I found funny was when the questions that were asked. First of all, we were in a senior living facility. So a lot of questions didn't even apply to seniors. But we had a mediator and they would ask questions. But so we were talking about what's a good example? We're talking about the hurricanes and climate change.
Right. Okay?
So I went first. I was handing the mic first, and I was talking about all the plastics and the things that were deteriorating the earth that we're not recycling, and all kinds of stuff. It's just basic stuff, but I don't know how that really stops climate change.
Right.
The earth has been evolving.
They don't know how it stops climate change.
Hundreds of millions of years.
No one knows anything that stops climate change, so don't feel bad.
But we can do a much better job with cleaning the earth, right?
100%.
And a basic things like, and again, government making rules on how to do that. You need to bring environmental scientists into play,
right?
And let them give us ideas on how to protect, because you can't stop it. You can't stop people from dumping in the ocean. You can't stop people from throwing plastics in the ocean. Or our water streams. You can't stop the sugar from making a mess up in the Everglades with burning things and
right.
sugar cane. You can't stop illegal dumping and sewage that's going into our water systems, but how do we build protective measures, right? So that's where I was leading on it. So my opponent gets up and she starts talking about a lot of the same thing, but then the whole crux of the night with the Democrats was fear mongering. Okay, Governor DeSantis and Rubio, they vote against cleaning our earth or cleaning this, and then they go into, Governor DeSantis, if he gets reelected, he's going to put conservative carry, out for guns. So you're going to be standing in Publix, and you're going to have people with M16s on their backs just standing right next to you. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Listen, I tell you what that does. That keeps people from like trying to shoot up my Publix.
Yeah, but
I ain't mad at it.
You're not gonna have people walking around with M16s tied to their body.
No, it's not gonna be that.
So basically, they're trying to scare people, saying that you're gonna have mass shootings all over the place because you get mad, you just pull out your gun and you shoot somebody.
Well,
right?
yeah.
You don't even have to permit. You don't have to have a background check.
But more dangerous than a gun is that kind of thinking that they're trying to put on people. It's like, really, that's your biggest issue right now.
But the whole night, all I heard was just fear-mongering people into voting for the other side.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they're the ones that are destroying this country. They're the ones that are doing all the things that they point their fingers at. They're the ones that all the fingers, when you point your finger, all your fingers are pointing back at you, right?
I hope you're seeing these comments too, right?
I'm not.
You're not? Oh man, Kellyanne's hilarious. She's like laughing and she's like, "Do they know that many, many people conceal every day in lines at Publix?"
Well, she went for the big guns. I mean, strapped like army.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
She wasn't talking about this. She just wanted because
But to Kellyanne's point, my Publix is safe. I live in Volusia County. No one's coming to shoot up my Publix.
But it's just funny that the whole focus is on what they can do to scare people,
right?
Instead of having an agenda and a solution.
Right.
There's no solutions. It's just all fear mongering.
That's it. Listen,
and people couldn't wait for her to shut up.
Yeah, well,
I mean, so here I'm answering the questions because they were pointed questions,
right?
And then she didn't have any real answers to any of the questions. So then she goes into how Rubio and DeSantis and they're just destroying the state of Florida and they want to take away all your rights and they don't want you to. Then she goes into how poorly we treat people and it's just a joke.
Well, dude, I really, again, it's got to be perspective and like based on where you live because I mean, ruining the state of Florida. I live in the great state of Florida. Like I wake up every morning happy that I'm not in California or PA or someplace, New York. Oh my gosh, I couldn't live in New York. So gross. But like
you're talking about like we need to reelect Charlie Crist and put Val Demings in there. Okay, so Charlie Crist was a Republican. Charlie Crist had the state bankrupt when he was there. Unfortunately, our education system, I will have to say, has never recovered and became a great education system in Florida. We're ranked like number 48. But when Chris was there, we were ranked probably 48 or 50 as well, right? I mean, you got a guy that you look at him. I don't even know if I would hold my pocket anywhere near that guy. He just doesn't come across to me as a polished businessman that can run anything. And his track record already shows he can't.
He looks like a young Joe Biden.
I don't even know.
Didn't he look like a young Joe Biden?
He looks like to me. He looks dirty.
That's exactly my point.
He looks like he never took a bath. I don't know. He doesn't do it for me.
He looks like somebody who would lie to me. And that's at the end of the day, that's the worst thing I ever want to say about.
He's doing to you on TV with all his ads. He's lying to you.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, and it's like I kind of gauge my politicians with my heart. Like you say, when you met me, I speak from the heart. I also listen from the heart too. I listen for truth. I listen for sincerity, something genuine. I want to hear it. Not only do I want to hear it, I want to feel it, and I do not feel that from Charlie Crist at all. I feel cold, like it's Death. Death with the sickle walking around. I feel like he's wearing that cloak, and it's like if he pulls it back, it's Charlie Crist underneath that thing. This guy's gonna lie to me and take my soul. I'm terrified of this man. And I can't. It's the same thing that, like I said, young Joe Biden. The same thing that Joe Biden did in his presidential campaign. Go and find a minority female to play on the minority population. It's the same thing that he did with this lady who's got no political experience whatsoever, barely any educational experience in terms of like administrative or whatever she's done. And that's your lieutenant governor. And all it is, and people don't see the manipulation here, is like he's trying to buy your votes. He may not have used literal dollar bills. And in this, actually, you and I know through the campaign process, he is using literal dollar bills to buy your votes.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's Charlie Crist. It's something that's funny. Down here, maybe about a month ago, there was a rally for the Democrats, and he was supposed to be the keynote, right? The big guy showing up. So there's a guy that is a Republican, right? He loves the Republicans, and he's always finding all this crap out that the Democrats are doing, and he's vocal about it. He puts a Facebook Live, he goes to events, and
right,
he's very good. Very good, right? So he shows up at this event, and he sees bus loads of people. So he goes to the buses. So Charlie Crist had all these minorities bussed from Miami to this one event to show that the place had a lot of people. The bus, he showed the writing on the bus. Chinese bus companies. The name of the bus was in Chinese. So then he goes into the event and tries to buy a ticket. Now, I guess they knew who he was. They wouldn't let him buy a ticket. So then he started saying, this is a public forum. This is, I should be able to buy a ticket. I'm part of the public. I want to see what's going on here. But they basically threw him out. So he hung around because Charlie Crist hasn't arrived yet, right? So he hangs around, and all of a sudden he finds out Charlie Crist has never even shown up to this event. His own event. He never shows up. Yet he busted all these people in from Miami. So if you have local representatives talking to Democratic local representatives for their district, these people have nothing to do with their district, right? Because we're here in Broward. I mean, we don't touch them.
Exactly.
So to build a crowd like Obama did, right? To build a crowd, they bring all these people in there that have no rhyme or reason for what they're there for,
right?
To show that they have some sort of support. And it's again, smoke and mirrors. This is what they're good at.
It is. I mean, it's kind of like when I was younger and I used to I used to do club promotions, and I used to get a bunch of my friends to line up in front of the club and make it look busy so you could attract more people in. Because at the time I was in Orlando, so clubs shut down early, but they also start late. So I just hey, listen, man, just line up. I'll make sure you get in. I'll get you free tab at the bar, whatever have you. Just stand out here for a few minutes and more people line up behind you. And it worked. Yeah. So it's the same thing. I mean, if you could use it in any level of sales. At the end of the day, these people are selling you a product.
They're selling you with perception.
And they're selling you this whole democracy of America. This is a republic. Let's get that correct. They're trying to give you options, but then they tell you have choice, but they give you your options. Put it to you like that. A great wise individual that I learned is my apostle. He says, you know what democracy is, democracy is? It's like two wolves and one sheep discussing what's for lunch.
Well, yes, Lynn Sue's just popping in, so let's bring her in real quick.
Let's bring her in.
Lynn Sue, live. Where are you?
Oh my gosh, so delayed.
I guess she's not there anymore. Oh no, she's so delayed.
You were good for a minute. Now what happened?
I don't know.
There you are.
She went Chinese, the Chinese film thing again.
The Chinese film thing with the voice. Man, what's going on? This happened to me last week too.
Yep, that Miami internet reception. So it's all
Oh,
you're around too
Brandon
many liberal internet
Hey, look
connections.
at me.
I think you need to get closer to your mic because that's when we lose you. When you back away from your mic.
Let me see.
There you
No,
are.
I had my headphones in. So
Oh, you do? They're
yeah.
made in China.
So is our iPhone, by the way.
Oh, good point.
Most of the parts in your phone are made in China.
Yes.
So tell us
That's
about Marco Rubio.
microchip.
Tell us about the event. How'd it go?
Oh, it went well. He spoke really well. I mean, like he also performed awesome in the debate. I don't know if you guys watched it.
I did not, but I
didn't.
heard it was a good battle between the two of them.
Yep. Well, I mean, I think Val Demings at some point she was caught defending herself. So the
She
minute
looked very aggressive, and from what I saw in
when
the
you
news.
start having to defend yourself, it's over.
Yes, because you got something to hide.
Right. I mean, you have to protect whatever you stand for. It's like, oh, stop explaining. You're done. Bye bye.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of like I'm not going to mention them now because I'm going to save this for another show. But like, there were some politicians that kept on having to defend themselves throughout their whole debate, and I was like, they're hiding something. So,
Yep.
But by the way, just so you know, Kellyanne's still watching and she's still loving the show. She's commenting. I know you guys can't see the comments, but
wait! I could see the comments.
Oh, I guess it's just Bill. It's just Bill then.
Where are these comments? I don't see them on my screen.
On the right-hand side, just click on the button chat.
Yeah, we're still working on technology, guys. Not all of us are, millennials.
No,
all of us,
user interface is a little
the only one.
takes some getting used to.
And even I don't even know how to use this stuff, so no judgment.
So I want to know if, like, I'm doing the Chinese thing again.
Yeah, but if you don't notice it, I don't think the rest of America will.
No, it's not bad. It's actually good. It brings me back to Bruce Lee movies.
Right? You start throwing in karate chops at some point in time.
Okay. Which finger do you think is going to show up?
I think I have an idea.
It would be delayed, so I don't know.
I have an idea. I'm scared. Oh, all of them showed up. I was nervous that only one was.
No, I mean, like, it's about to, I was going to do a little.
Our ratings were about to go up.
Uh-oh.
So give us a couple of quick highlights from Rubio. I'd like.
Yeah.
Points that he was.
I wanted to be there.
So a couple of quick highlights. So basically, like, we're stressing at they're emphasizing on the economy, right? How inflation's really bad, which is very true.
Good.
They're also talking about, like, our reserves, our oil reserves, right? Which is like absolutely, completely being depleted right now. It's been created like, I don't know, 40 some years ago, right? And it was created, the strategic oil reserves. Anyway, so he mentioned those things. I mean, those were what stuck with me, right? What my takeaway was. And the other thing I realized is that Val Demings, in 6 years that she was a congresswoman, she never passed one bill. She never created or passed any bills.
So she was a congresswoman before.
For 6 years, yeah.
I guess she realized she wasn't going to get her reelected in that seat, so try to go after Marco Rubio's seat.
No, to be honest, I think she is the best candidate the Democrats have in Florida.
I agree. I agree, and that's sad, but I agree because she should have ran for governor. It would have been a more formidable fight for DeSantis.
Yeah, I think she didn't. She put in her. Wasn't she going to run
for what, governor?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I really hope she doesn't think about it. But Rubio's going to destroy her. Yep, I agree. And let's hope, because no election is guaranteed, but let's hope and pray.
No, I think that what's scary is people who are less informed, who don't, know who they're voting for. They're thinking, black woman, cops, for pro-abortion. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Yeah, but I mean, in the debate, he also emphasized this tonight. He said, like, during the debate, he said, what's one exception you would give? What is the exception on abortion that you give? Like, not one exception. Like, abortion up to the point of birth. So,
wow, really,
yeah.
unbelievable. So I mean, and here's the thing. This is something that Bill and I were talking about before you got on, Lynn. Was that the president's focus? Again, he's the leader of the free world, and there's some big issues here. Here she is. Yep, that's the issue, and the number one issue with voters. So to that point again, the president, the poll was, what's the biggest issue with voters? And the number one issue is economy. And with low percentage numbers were abortion and all these other things.
I think to liberals, I think that's like issue number 2.
Correct.
Issue number 1 is inflation and economy, right? And issue number 2, like a pretty, a not so distant second, is abortion.
Well, for liberals, they're expecting the government to cut a check during this economic downturn. Like, if it goes down low enough, they'll cut another check.
Yeah.
Well, why not? They're taking away, student debt. So why not just say?
There we go. There we go. I mean,
the thing is, like, what are they screaming about with abortion? By the way, like, if Roe versus Wade was overturned, there's no way that the Supreme Court is going to allow this to be codified into our Constitution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, remind me again, what are we doing?
Well, that's their selling point. They're saying if they get back control of the House or the Senate or whatever, they can. Then President Biden will have all the power at hand to do what needs to be done and reinstate Roe. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, secondly, that's
wake up.
Yeah, it's like how are these people believing these things? Like, how are they believing it? And then secondly, okay, good, you put that back into place. If you or waste all your energy doing that, America's economy is still tanking. People are still going to suffer. They're suffering now. They're going to suffer more, and that is your biggest agenda to take care of as soon as you have power. Is a woman's right to choose.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, a woman didn't have a right to choose when the vaccines came out and COVID and all, wearing a mask and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they pick on what they want you to choose and what's you're in control of.
Yeah. Well, that's at the end of the day. Yeah, it's I don't know. They make the Kool-Aid. They're selling it to people. People are buying it. Some people aren't buying it. Hopefully enough people don't buy it and vote the right way come election cycle, the election time, because it's really sad that people are, again, the country is just divided on issues that are tremendously important. Like,
no, but I think people are victimizing us a little bit too much, like, okay, women have no choices. They had choice when they decided to, do the activity that causes a pregnancy.
And who to do the activity with.
And they did have a choice too, whether they were going to, I fully had a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And all of that was my choice. And I also have to take responsibility for the consequences of whatever it is that I want to do. So, right. If you know you're active, take a test more often. There is a leeway for it, right? It's not like, oh my God, the world's going to end. Listen, this is not an issue anywhere else in 196 countries around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people really have this as an issue, as a controversial issue where politicians are and like basing elections on. Like, come on. Really, this is a first world problem.
Kenny said, if someone doesn't know by 15 weeks, that's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew from week 1. I was like, I looked at my wife, I was like, you look different. Week 1, I was like, something about you different.
Yeah.
So 15 weeks later, I should know some things.
So Val Demings, let's just talk about her real quick.
Okay.
Right. So she's a top cop in her commercials, right?
Allegedly,
right?
Well, she was the chief of police, I think.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
what did she talk about with border control, fentanyl, and all these other things that are coming across? Does she have any solutions? What is she going to do about it? Where was her position on that since she's a police officer?
Her position is she's going to show up more than Marco Rubio did.
Her position is she's going to vote with whatever Nancy Pelosi votes for.
Which is everything
And-
that most cops won't vote for.
and when she goes to the Senate, she's going to vote with anything that Chuck Schumer wants. So
Less Border Patrol, more drugs, right? More crime.
apparently,
We
there's
don't
not
have to
enough, right? Because they say that our borders are secure.
I'm curious to know what Kellyanne's saying yuck to, because there's a lot of gross things we just said, like Val Demings and Nancy Pelosi. So I was curious to know which one.
Okay, so let's look at that in itself, right? How can somebody vote for someone that's going to put all three of those in their bag? Right?
Pelosi.
Pelosi, Schumer, and themselves. How would you want to bring those three apples to the grocery store? I would.
Not unless it's one of those safe Publixes that has the M16s in the shopping aisles.
So let me get your guys' take on a different topic.
Okay.
Our ex-president was in the news a lot, right, for his anti-Semitic supposedly comment about American Jews need to follow the Israelis.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that? Because they're using that as well, because the Jewish vote is heavily Democratic.
Mhm.
So that's another thing they got to turn on. So you have any thoughts on that?
No, so I mean, he's so anti-Semitic that he moved the capital of Israel to Jerusalem.
Right.
Moved, like, he's very anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
You know, it's from what I understand, the comment was made for the Jewish community to wake up to the Democrats,
Mhm.
because what he's done for Israel was groundbreaking. He's done the most for Israel than any president.
Right.
The only president to have the balls not only to say they're going to move the capital to Jerusalem, but actually did it.
Yep.
And he's telling the Democrat people, wake up. Don't let this party sheep you around, because they're going to destroy us.
Yep.
So they
Well,
that.
They've already the Democrats have already destroyed their relationship with the Hispanic, right?
Right. So they're trying to hold on to what
now they're calling Hispanics racist.
Right.
Right. And then, like, they kind of started to lose some of the black votes now too. Right?
Well, a lot.
There's
A lot more than they
There's
realize.
a lot of black that are waking up, and basically that's what's happening, right? So now what do they got to go do? Like, okay, let's go find some of our old bases, right? Like the Jews of the New World, like, type, not like the Israeli.
They're really holding on to the
Israeli
LGBTQ
the
thing.
Israeli Jews are people who are pro-Israel are all Republicans at this point, because apart from, I think, Ted Deutsch, who is no longer running in the Democrat side, nobody is pro-Israel, like, Jewish. So
I think they're really trying to hone in on this LGBTQ plus minus division.
They brought that my opponent spoke about that last night.
Oh, absolutely.
So they hang their hats on.
She didn't speak on it.
Abortion, gun violence, right? And then the LGBTQ3 whatever community
plus
and,
minus.
To me, first of all, and all these letters came around, I don't know, recently, like just like pronouns to me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
People that are gay choose to live where they want to live, who they want to live with, who they want to sleep in bed with, who they want to have a family with. To me, I don't know what government has to do with any of that. They're people.
It has nothing to do with any of that.
Where does that become politicized? What do we need to bother with spending money and having literal fights about the community, because there's no heterosexual problems, right? We don't have our own Ackermans, right?
No, we have no rights, actually.
No, we have no rights, but
you're a white male, Bill. You have to shut up.
Yeah, what's Bill doing here? He's ruining our. He's ruining
What's
our.
Bill doing here?
He's ruining our show.
But to me, they're no different than any of us sitting here. We're all human. We all do what we do.
Yeah, that's
Why bring this into a political world?
Because that's how you, like you said, they've got to create a division. They've got to have something for them to stand on as a platform for their. They got to hold on to something. They're losing the Hispanic votes. They've lost the Hispanic votes. They're losing the Black support. They've got to find somebody that's now like victimized and needs some support. So
but are they really victimized?
Let me do it like this: victimized,
right?
So they create these stories and say that people have issues, or people. And don't get me wrong, people are of all walks of life have issues, whether they get beat up for being gay or Black or white or Asian or whatever. It's just how you spin the story and sell it. And the Democrats have done a phenomenal job of selling it to the community now that they've a whole community can come out with leather pants and chain whips and whatever, I don't even know, and say, I'm going to go vote for Joe Biden or whoever. It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, so now,
and the more LGBTQ you are, the better their support. It's
but they brought it into this world now. So now they have to follow through on protections and stuff for them.
Right.
Because they've created the hatred and the bullying.
Correct.
Before that, I didn't even it
was a non-issue. It was a non-issue.
Homosexual and heterosexual, we all know that.
Yeah, people were people.
Right, but again, I don't care if you work for me, you work where you work. I don't care if I buy a car from you or if I buy services from you.
As long as you give me a good deal.
But now you start bringing all this into the political world, and then you start looking at these people differently.
Right.
And now you create the hate.
Correct.
And then now you try to capitalize on the hate by making it part of your platform to save them.
Correct.
You're dividing.
Correct.
Makes no sense.
They don't never do anything.
No.
No, I mean, like the way the government handles minorities and race, or the difference between race or whatever it is, right? It's exactly like what BLM is doing.
Take the money and do nothing.
Take the money, do nothing, enjoy their own lives, and leave the people. I mean, like, how much money has BLM given to like the inner cities and the communities that need it?
None.
Not even the ones that have been burnt down by them, right? Or
and they have the audacity to actually put this stuff online. Oh, yeah. Lynn, I don't know if Lynn was doing the Asian TV show thing, but
I was.
There was some delay going on. Oh, see, look, Kellyanne even said $0.
Hey, it's a foreign film. Hello.
Like, this is what happens, South Florida, when you have liberal internet connections. There will be delays.
Yeah.
Look at all this good conservative 5G technology, real time.
This is what happens when there's a monopoly. Absolutely.
Correct.
Right? There's no competition, so you can just you say you're giving 1 gigabytes and then you just give like 200 megs.
Have you guys noticed your like FP&L bill's gone up significantly lately?
Yes.
Yeah. I was looking at my bill. It went from like $175 to almost $400 in the last couple months.
Damn. Mine went up about twofold.
They must have found out you were running as a Republican, Bill.
That's right. They hit my house. They put an R on my
meter. You get taxed.
Well, he's got money.
Yeah. It's crazy, though. I mean, you look at these rising costs. How are people going to afford this life?
Listen, they've said that Americans are ahead of their projected mark. They are paying more than what they expected them to be paying at this point in time this year. They're already there, faster than the speed of light.
You guys think about this with the supply being so low. Can you imagine the holidays, like Thanksgiving coming up? Everything is going to go even higher.
Absolutely.
You're going to have half a turkey on your table because of supply chain.
No, I mean, like, whoever has a good freezer, like, get your stuff.
I'm going to buy a Cornish.
That might be the next thing on eBay. People selling turkeys and stuffing. And
we're eating Thanksgiving chicken. We're eating Thanksgiving chicken and Cornish hens.
Oh yeah.
We can stuff that one real easy.
Seriously. No,
So,
I mean, like, if you have, I mean, I don't know if you have space, like canned goods, all of your stuff that you need. I think like you should buy them early on before the supply gets even lower, and then the price is going to be jacked up, right? Because like, I mean,
Yeah.
what groceries? The price of groceries went up. Like for me, it's almost 4 times. I think food is the biggest price increase.
Yeah. They're saying at grocery stores, people are shopping more frequently for smaller items. They're not shopping the same way they used to.
Yeah.
There's a noticeable difference at the grocery store.
No, so this is ridiculous. I never thought I'd see this day. What's that, Bill?
What did Rubio say the solution to this economy is? Besides getting that Biden out of office.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I think, of course, he's not going to say any solutions because, like, if he knew, he'd probably do it by now. But my point is that, like, I think once these people get elected into office, we have to hold them accountable for what it is that is going to make a difference. Because
so how do we hold them accountable, Lynn?
I think all the protests that we're doing right now, there's like people on the streets waving flags and stuff like that, right? Because they were so upset about Republicans not getting elected into wherever they weren't elected into. And, the way that Biden's doing things, like we have to protest them like we protest Biden.
But Biden keeps going rogue all the time and making it worse and worse. There's got to be.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I think he's fallen out of line with his party for a couple of times and doing stuff like saying things that he wasn't supposed to say. I don't know if that's just humility or is it like, is it just him? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's weird.
He's trying to pull a Trump. He's trying to go off script.
Yeah.
He's like, they'll like me more if I'm more like that
he's
guy.
Not light on his feet. And plus he
not at all.
And he makes up stuff when he doesn't know. But anyway, so I think my point is like for all elected officials, like when they say they're going to do something, I think we really have to hold them accountable because last time when we had the majority in the House and the Senate, we did nothing. Like zero.
Well, it seems to me that, and I'm sure everybody feels the same way. As soon as you get elected to the office, the other side is fighting to get you out the whole time and not working with you. So then, we're going to make the Republicans look bad or the Republicans going to make the Democrats look bad. And they spend 4 years, 2 years, whatever their terms are, doing exactly that and really not accomplishing anything for the people to try to win back a seat. And, it's never going to change unless I don't know how to make that change because they're more interested. I like that he's mentally incapable, but there's
that's why I'm laughing.
Potato Joe. There's got to be a way that these people are held accountable, or term limit them out and be done with them, so that they have to do their job and they can't get involved in right and left as much, can't get bought out. But there's got to be some other solutions because these people are just wrecking our lives. And then these numbers that are inflated become the norm now.
Yeah.
So they won't come down.
I still can't get used to
how to rise up.
Yeah. I still can't get used to seeing gas prices the way they are.
Well, they say they're going to go to $7 a gallon.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to start walking places again. I'm going to lose so much weight. Like, that's unbelievable. Like, dude, like I drive up the street and I see like I filled up today, my wife's car actually, and it was $3.22 a gallon. And that's the cheap gas station. And I'm just thinking to myself, $3.22 a gallon was what I paid at the highest point in previous inflations and like gas going up. $3.22. And I was like, that's too much. Now that's what I look for. I love $3.22 right now because it used to be $5.
Oh man.
Well, I think DeSantis also is cutting the gas tax right now.
Yeah, no, I saw something. Yeah.
So that's helping us out. So that just shows you how much damn tax money is being made by the oil companies.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's ridiculous, man. Well, what about the watermelon?
what the government is making from gas.
The government's making a fortune. Oil companies are recording record highs in profits right now.
That stops November 1st. The gas tax. Oh, well, there goes the tax going right back up. The gas going right back up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Terrible. Our whole system has, and we're only 3 people, but this whole system needs to get revamped because they are basically putting the Americans out of business, the business of their homes, business of our lives. Right?
I think this is the last election cycle where people are actually going to have to, like, if you don't realize it between now and 2024, by the time we're voting for a new president, this is it. You're going to learn between now and then that something ain't right, and and by that I mean your government. It's not right. It's literally left.
Well, I think in 2 more years, right, Biden will have run his welcome totally out. Even with the Democratic Party.
Correct.
They're probably going to put Newsom, I think, that's just my prediction, in that run-in for president, because he seems to be the next one with the biggest mouth out there.
That hurts my ears.
And then it all depends on America, the citizens. Do we want to keep trusting that party, or do we want to get out of that party and switch back?
I think by then America will have a very healthy idea of like the decision at that point in time. The experiences that they'll have in America that they're experiencing right now, but that is going to be more further compounded between now and 2024. It's going to be a clear defining line. Like, hey, listen, I'm not doing this anymore. There's clear issues over here. Like gas, they said gas was going down, it's going up. They say plane rides are going down, it's going up. They're saying, groceries are going down, it's going up. I can't afford food.
No, there's no recession.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's no recession. Not for them.
We talk about gaslighting here, right? Like
he says, if there is one, it's a slight recession. He says it on camera today. If there is one, it's a slight recession. It's like a little baby recession. It's not too bad. You can afford that, America. We gave you $1,200.
That's gonna last forever.
You should have saved some of that.
Most Americans went out and bought a new pair of shoes.
Don't go spend it all in one place.
No,
buy stuff in PayPal.
I don't think Newsom is going to be very popular because he's not even popular in California.
Yeah, but he's spending a lot of time around the White House and with the party.
Yeah.
No, they're probably going to prop him up and then make up stuff again, right? So
Biden wasn't even popular as a vice president. With his own president. And he became the leader of that clan.
Oh my God! Yeah,
very good point, Bill. So yeah, no, we can't. And good thing I think the Republicans have an answer for that. So we'll keep that in their secret weapon.
Well,
2024.
You think Trump's going to run again?
No.
You don't? I think he is.
Actually, no, he might. You know what? I think he will. I know for sure he's not running with Mike Pence. So we're going to have a new option for vice president. And depending on who that is, that definitely pushes Trump clearly across the finish line this go around. I think America misses Trump. I think
the media misses Trump.
Oh, they definitely miss Trump. This guy is boring them to death. They have
CNN's about to shut down already. You don't get Trump elected, it's going to go belly up before 2024.
Listen,
they were missing him.
They were trying to tie him up on CNN. They're like, why is CNN trying to trap Biden? Like they want some controversy.
Well, I think CNN was bought recently by Fox.
Was it?
Or something like that.
No.
I think there was. I read or heard somewhere that they were bought out.
Man, they became that cheap without Trump.
No. I mean, look at they're trying to lay people off. I think they're trying to revolutionize something. Like I think the management, because they realize there's too much BS on their shows. Like people lying and lying and lying about stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's really bad. I mean, some of the stuff, and they never retract. They never say, "Oh, you know what? This news isn't right." Like, no.
Can they get rid of Don Lemon?
They did. Well, I mean, they put him in the morning show.
Oh yeah, so he's gone.
Yeah,
No one
so he
watches.
doesn't have prime time anymore. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
no.
the evenings, which is, you know, good. I think Chris Cuomo went and did something on his own now.
Warner
His show.
Brothers, Discovery Channel.
Isn't that Disney?
No, Discovery?
Yeah, Warner Brothers Discovery Inc. It now owns CNN.
Interesting.
Oh, so isn't Warner Brothers also part of Paramount?
I don't know.
Paramount, Viacom.
Hmm.
So Viacom is a parent company, right? And then they own Paramount. They own.
I don't know, man. There's too many ties in who owns who.
Basically, like it's only owned by like 6 people. The world is owned by like 6 people.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Those 6 people sit there and they puppet string on Joe Biden.
Yeah. No, they puppet string on the entire world.
Touche.
Right? Oh man.
Oh man. So yeah, that's the things we talk about on Political Pulse Live. You know what I thought about it? I was like, you know what? Between Bill, Lynn, and Mo, we could really call the show BLM Live. Maybe
Yeah.
like get away with something here. Feel this whole
Guess
BLM
what? We'll never be censored.
No, we wouldn't.
I love it. It's so cool. BLM
I'm just thinking maybe we rebrand this thing, get T-shirts that say it, and we'll like wear them and then advertise, and people are like, oh snap, BLM Live, and it completely be the wrong.
A lot of people tuning in thinking it is BLM Live.
It'd be the total wrong show for them.
Lynn and Mo. No, we should do like the big abbreviations and write the little names on the.
Yeah,
right.
That might be good.
Just a thought, just throwing it out there. I thought about it earlier today, and I'm like, So Political Pulse Live, brought to you by BLM Live.
Political Pulse brought to you by BLM.
True.
We should do that.
True. Put like a fist on there or something.
Well, we have 3 colors.
You know what we should do? We should
have white, black, and Asian fist.
Put a thumbs down. Is that what you're saying, Lynn?
Thumbs down. No, I'm kidding.
Put a thumbs. No, that's not. We need. No, they'll know it's not them. They won't tune in. They won't tune in.
Funny.
Listen, Kellyanne has been our guest of the night. She's been awesome. What's up with all these cool guests with like Ann in their name? They sound like they live in like, country.
Yeah, huh? Last time it was Mary Ann, and then
we need to like connect Kellyanne and Mary Ann.
No, when I saw Kellyanne, I thought it was Conway.
It could be. I don't know.
Is she still online?
I'll find out when she comments. She's been commenting. So if she comments again, there were some other comments here, but none of them were Kellyanne.
What's that?
Where are you from? Where's she from? Yeah, I'm curious to know. I want to see if I'm right. If she's from someplace safe, like like Volusia or something.
Someplace safe.
What's in White Broward County?
Yeah, definitely, definitely not there. All the people with N's in their names know better, and they move out of Broward County. Go to South Carolina or something.
Yeah, I wonder why Mary Ann didn't join today. So today I was at an event, and then like an old friend of Bill and I, she said, "Oh wow, you guys are so great."
Really?
Yeah.
Tell her we said what's up. See her in the next show too.
A
BLM Live.
A female friend or a male friend?
Well, married couple.
2.
Married couple.
For 1. There you go. Well, nowadays it could be any kind of married couple, but whatever.
I'm trying to figure out who that is.
Oh,
You know who it is.
I know who it is?
Yeah. We only know one couple in common.
I can't think of the name.
I hope they're not watching this show, Bill.
Maybe. So let's stop.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. So Okay, you guys, it's been. When did you guys start today? At 9? At 9?
9-ish,
Okay.
like
I mean,
9:02.
we're
Mo's
coming
on
into
island
an
is on
hour.
island time, so it's ish.
Yeah, that's right. You see my
Oh,
pool
you
in the
guys, I'm
background?
so stoked. I gotta show you this. So, I got a proclamation today. How do I do this? Okay, here we go. It's delayed.
Nice.
Wrong side. Okay. Where's my camera going?
There you go. There you go.
By Hallandale Beach, we saw it. The rest is
Did
all
you?
tiny print. Yeah, it says Hallandale Beach.
Yeah, it's a proclamation, and it's declaring October 19th like Lim Soo month.
Linsu month.
Let's do a month.
I'll show you. It's so cute. They were so. I mean, like this was a total surprise for me.
That is really cool.
Good deal. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Look at that. Political
You want to hear me read it? You want to hear me read it?
BLM
Yeah.
Live getting awards.
BLM getting awards. Okay, proclamation, right? Whereas, as a dedicated community leader, Lynn has volunteered for various nonprofit organizations. Currently, she serves as a board member of the Miami-Dade County Asian American Advisory Board, North Miami Beach Redevelopment Advisory Board, Thai American Association, South Florida, Census Complete Count, and Multicultural Committee. Whereas Ms. Lynn Soo serves as Vice President of National Association of Asian American Professionals, NAP Miami, and the City of Hallandale Beach Commission. Whereas the City of Hallandale Beach Commission recognizes and appreciates Ms. Lynn Soo's commitment to advocate for members of the Hindu community, Jewish community, and members of communities who have fled communism and totalitarian regimes. And whereas Ms. Lynn Soo's dedication and advocacy to combat Asian hate and anti-Semitism throughout Miami-Dade and Broward counties have made an impact not only on other communities, but the city of Hallandale Beach as well. Whereas Ms. Lynn Soo is hereby recognized for her ardent and formidable support and advocacy on behalf of South Florida's Hindu American community. Now, Joy Cooper, Mayor of City of Hallandale Beach, Florida, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim October 19th, 2022 as Lynn Soo month. So it's kind of cute. But in witness thereof, I here to fix the stamp. So isn't that cool? And then the commissioner put up a picture of me where I was protesting. Well, I wasn't protesting, but I was advocating for anti-Semitism, like to fight anti-Semitism. And I had a sign up, and and she had that picture up, and she said something that like almost made me cry. But it was nice.
Well, congratulations.
So thank you, Mayor Joy Cooper and Commissioner Annabelle Lima Taub for again.
Almost making her cry.
Yeah. they're so great. It was so awesome.
Well, that's good. It's good for them for recognizing you too. I love the city of Hallandale Beach, and I'm glad to know that their commission recognizes people that do good for their community. I'm glad you're one of the people that, again, they said other communities because you don't live in Hallandale Beach, but apparently whatever you've done has made its way into Hallandale Beach. So kudos to them and congratulations to you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Let's continue all of us to do great work in communities. Lynn's setting the bar kind of high here, so.
No. I think it's just that I don't know. I don't know what I do, but and then the community leader goes up after everything's said and done, and she goes, with a title or without a title, I don't know what she said, but you have to go listen to the recording. It was kind of, I was like, oh my God, girl, why did you say that? She was like, without, what is it? With a title, without a title, whether she is, recognized or not recognized behind the scenes, whatever Lynn will do, is always there for us. And then she says, you would be lucky to have her in your city. I was like, what did she say?
That's right.
She's trying to push you to run for city, huh?
And then I'm like, but I don't live in Hallandale.
You might want to move now.
We would be lucky to have you.
You might want to move now.
That's so funny.
We got some good beachfront properties. So, no, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
It's very awesome. Bill ain't getting no awards tonight, so.
Yeah, what happened to your meeting, Bill?
Oh no, it was for a not son in school. Tonight wasn't political tonight.
Oh, it was family.
Last night was political. Was a debate.
Well, that's what you want from your politicians too, is that they know that they understand the value of family, and having those parent teacher moments or school moments. Obviously, that's most of my moments is parental moments now. So yeah, hopefully whenever I get things going good, I can get back to the political arena. But for now, it's definitely parental, which is awesome.
Well, you're in the political arena right here.
Well, true.
Yeah. No, but you guys, okay, so the election, it's 2 weeks away, right?
Yep.
I mean, we got to really get serious about this, Bill. What's going on with you? I mean, okay, why don't we, I couldn't say like to all of our followers because we don't really have that many yet, but I mean, if people can help spread the word or something, we could definitely see if you need help with canvassing or phone calls or anything like that.
I mean, the biggest thing we right now need help with is canvassing. We need more people out there knocking, because my district's very big.
Yes, we've got 500,000 constituents.
500,000. There's no way to hit all those, But right now I feel like I'm in a good spot with the election.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it too, Bill.
It's definitely I got a lot of support. Unfortunately, that married couple held me back for a couple months. In the beginning, trying to get me going, but we learned a lot. For being newcomers to the election world and political world. So, but I feel like I've made a lot of.
No, I think you're probably going to need a bigger team to help you knock on doors and make phone calls. Wait,
yeah.
when did mail-in ballots drop? Do you guys remember?
I'm not sure. I wanted to request my.
I think my parents already voted, so
when does early voting start?
Early voting is
24th.
There you go.
Okay, so we've
got a couple days.
I should be
this Monday is when they're going to start early voting.
Yeah.
And we need people at the polls, at the early voting stations to hold up some signs and make sure people see your name right before they go in. If you have any lawn signs and stuff.
Yeah, I got actually 100 signs coming right now. I'll be picking them up tomorrow.
You're gonna need more.
Huh?
I mean, in my little rep race, it was 100 wasn't enough for me.
Really?
Yeah. So you're gonna need more.
Well, I got that little ones, and then I got like 50 4x4s that are gonna be going in the ground as well.
Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, if you have strategic locations and stuff, right?
That's key. Yeah.
Right next door to my opponent.
I mean, you have to find some way where it's like, within the circulation of where the polling station is.
Make sure you hit those highways.
I actually looked at my opponent's. I don't know if she has a strategic plan when she had somebody put them in, but she has very good traffic counts, like on and off the expressway.
Yes,
she's right there.
That's key.
So people are looking at that every time they pull onto the Sawgrass. They're getting off 95. And then some areas around the city, I don't know if there is is good, but I see her. The other main person on our side is Joe Budd, so his signs are close to Tina's signs. So I'm going to follow their path because they seem to have it mapped out pretty good with the district.
And Joe Budd, I heard good things about his campaign, so I hope it continues too.
I think Joe Budd's doing an excellent job. He's a hardworking man. I mean, he's out there busting his butt every day.
Yep, good deal. I caught wind of it. So
yeah, he's definitely the man. The hard part for him is like with me, Jared Moskowitz was appointed by Governor DeSantis for a few roles in government, and he has a long-standing history of family. I think his father was a real big deal in government here in Florida.
Right.
So he's got a name, he's got money, and he had DeSantis on his side for appointment.
Right.
But I think Joe Budd built a much bigger name because I didn't see Moskowitz doing much of anything except putting signs out.
Pretty much.
Joe's on the news.
Well, I mean, for congressmen, I don't think they do a lot of that. Mostly it's like, because Congress districts are pretty big, right?
Well, Moskowitz has got those commercials.
Joe's finding himself on TV, radio spots.
Yeah,
TV
that's what
spots.
they do, like radio, TV, and events. That's mostly.
Yeah, he's making the rounds, and he's founder of Club 45, which is a big, it's a big deal up in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
So he's smart, Joe, right? And he gets his name around, and he's got connections, and he's using everything to his advantage. And I personally think he's going to take Moskowitz. It will be it's going to be a tough race, and it will be close, I believe. But I think
it's looking good for him. Yeah. No, it's looking good for him. It's going to be closer, right? But I think Joe Budd could pull it off.
I would say hands down from everybody I've seen, he is one of the hardest workers out there right now.
No, he was focused when I saw him last, so his head's in the game. And another person too, we just want to bring him up real quick before I guess we sign off because we've been on it for a minute. But Drew Montez Clark, I haven't really I'm not down there, so I'm not really seeing what's going on.
That's the doctor, right?
Yeah, Dr. Drew Montez Clark.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's going on with his campaign and Sheila McCurley, whatever her name is. But I'm not a huge fan of her at all. Just because I think she's still standing.
Sheila McCormick, isn't she a Democrat?
Yeah. So she's running against Drew Montez Clark, and I want to know how that's gonna. I want to know. I need to check on that because obviously that's a big one. I'm curious to know how that goes, but I haven't really heard much about it. I guess Val Demings and Marco Rubio kind of took over the airways more so than that one. So, but that's a big one too because that's Alcee Hastings' whole seat. I know she's the incumbent on a special election victory, but I mean Drew Montez Clark is like the real deal to me. So
he's a very intelligent man.
Oh, absolutely.
Very.
And definitely the guy that should replace Alcee Hastings, in my opinion. Yeah. But we'll see. I'm going to do some follow up on that. Probably reach out to him and see how things are going with his campaign.
Yeah, today was the first time I've seen his signs because I was in that area.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, quite a bit of signs out.
Okay, good deal.
So,
yeah, I mean, Bill, I think you're going to need like 500 signs.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you got to think about this, right? Like when you have people standing at the polls, they also have to have your signs up.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And then like you also have them by like at homes of friends and family that you know.
Most of the people that I know live in homeowners associations and they can't have them.
Oh, like condos or okay, gated communities.
Yeah, like here in Parkland, there's very few places that's not gated.
Okay.
And Boca. A lot of the areas that we were walking in Boca were gated. Yeah, I mean, I got 2 weeks now, so there's only so much I can put out in 2 weeks.
In those areas, definitely be thinking about those, like you said, Boca and Parkland. Definitely want to get signs on the off ramps and on ramps of expressways, if possible.
Yeah,
because you got to have a lot of traffic in and out. That's where most of the people are going to see is like on the way to dropping off their kids to school or on the way to work, and they're taking the highway or passing that highway.
One of the funny things yesterday when we were speaking, it was like I said, it was an older crowd, and they're all vote by mail. So most of them already voted before they even went to see us last night. And a lot of them said that they voted for my opponent because she's a woman. Wow. And then after hearing us both speak, they came up to me and said, "I wish I would have met you first." So, you don't know. It's
hopefully you got to some of those people before they got to make a decision. Hopefully that's the way other people feel.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Because I mean, that's unfortunate though that again people vote by mail. They vote so quickly, and they don't actually get a chance to meet the candidates. It happened a lot to me in the primaries And it happened to a lot of other people in the primaries too. That they're just like, I wish I would have seen them before
Yeah.
making my decision. So maybe that it's one of the downsides about voting by mail, because then you vote you prematurely.
Well, so there's something that the moderator brought up in the beginning of this debate or forum, whatever you want to call it, is that people need to really research, and not enough people research the client. I mean, not the client, the candidate. They look at it as party line, or like what I was told. I'm a male, I'm a female, so I'm going to vote for a female. It's unfortunate because if you don't really know the person, it's hard to cast a vote, and you just pick whatever you feel.
No, yeah,
And
no.
not a lot of people. The problem with the ballot too is it's so daunting that you're not going to take the time to look up all these people. You got judges on there. There's so much crap to look up. It's tough.
Wait, so Bill, did you finally get a consultant?
No.
Okay.
By the way, our friend Kellyanne's from Davie just went ahead and did some research on my Facebook. I saw that she was commenting directly there. So she's from
cool.
Davie.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. So local. I thought she was no, she lives in Deerfield Beach. From Davie, lives in Deerfield Beach.
Listen,
Get all while you still can,
Wait,
Kellyanne.
isn't that your area, Deerfield, or is it too far east?
No, that's my area.
Oh,
all right, cool. So then she's got your vote.
Okay, you got to tell me where you cover so I can I have a lot of friends. I used to work in Boca.
So I cover Glades all the way to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes back to Dixie Highway. So then I go into.
Wait, are you sending text messages?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Can you forward me one of your text messages so that I can send it to some friends?
Yeah.
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 Because in that area, I have a lot of friends. I mean, that live in that area, so we can help you spread the word that way.
Okay. So so it comes back to the Dixie, and then it goes into Deerfield Pompano on the Dixie line, then it goes back west to Coconut Creek, Margate, Coral Springs, and Parkland.
Wow. Okay.
It's huge.
Yes.
But there was a study done for another candidate that I got a hold of. It was a name recognition, and because of the district and the size of the district, my competition only has like a 26% name recognition out of all of that. Now, they didn't do any name recognition on me because I'm not an incumbent, but they were doing it on the incumbents for the redistricting. So 26% is not a huge number at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it depends on how many people go out and vote too.
That is true. That could be a swing.
Because and right now, we don't have a lot of time to go into other candidates, but I want to mention something that's very important. I mean, Rubio touched on this tonight, right? It's like you see Democrats and the news, the media passing out information saying, "Oh, the Democrats are going to win it's a red wave. It's a red wave," right? So there's two things that this does, right? And one thing is it's going to get the Democrats out to go vote. And it's going to stop Republicans because they're going to be complacent.
Yeah.
So this is the scariest part. I think from the phone calls and the door knocks that I had with positive, yes, I will support you, shook my hand, looked me in the eye, we're voting for you for sure. I'm going to let my brother, sister, and uncle and everybody else vote for you too. From the numbers that I counted, it was way more than whatever it is that I got. So a lot of people decided not to show up one way or another. So, sometimes I would say since we don't have any restrictions on mail-in ballots, I would recommend that everybody gets a mail-in ballot. Although it's a little late in the game right now. Because sometimes last minute work comes up, vacation or weekend, or somebody gets sick or whatever, right? At least you can still vote.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. But in this case, they, no chance there.
Yeah.
Unless one person. And I swear to God, one of my volunteers and his entire family voted last minute on election day. I was like, what are you doing? You're in my district. You gotta go vote.
Yeah, no, it's I vote early. I vote towards the last days of early voting because I don't like lines.
No,
But
yeah.
you
Well, I
know,
mean, actually, the first couple of days are very slow.
oh
Like
yeah, the first couple.
I counted 15 Republicans at like the Miami Beach precinct, for example.
Mm-hmm. Early
15
voting is
Republicans.
normally slow. Like, every year for me, early voting is slow. I
Yeah.
voted a little bit earlier this year, but normally I vote on the back end of early voting. But this year I voted earlier just to get it out of the way because I had to focus back on campaigning and also my wife being pregnant. So, and all experiences for me, it was empty. Like I was in, I was out, I was done. I'm not waiting in line. So I mean, that last minute waiting thing to vote last minute and wait till voting day stuff's for the birds. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So
I'm gonna say that, like, I mean, are we gonna do another show this week, or we're gonna do one next week?
I mean, I'm game except for tomorrow. I've got my daughter's singing recital thing. I'm not sure
cool.
that's out. Yeah, I'm not sure. Should be out by 9, hopefully.
Shouldn't she be in bed by then?
I would think so. It starts
Hey, Bill,
early.
what are you doing tomorrow? Well, I mean, I'm not expecting tomorrow. I'm thinking like maybe Friday.
I think we should be good Friday.
Bill?
I'm thinking. Hold on.
No, the thing is, I want to update. I want to update people on the.
That should be good Friday.
I want to update people on the candidates because, like, in the cities, in the municipalities right now, there's also a couple of referendums going on in Miami Beach. You know what I mean? Like, I think we should be a little bit more. Just help inform the people, and then they can make their decision from there. And I'll also be interviewed by another channel. So I'll post the video when I get it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You winning anything or just being interviewed?
Not interview, but like we're just talking to each other. Like, I mean, they used to interview me every day. I mean, not every day. Sorry, every week. Every day is a little much.
You're like, damn, man.
They used to interview me every week.
I wonder if she's getting awards.
No, they interviewed me once every week when I was campaigning, and then like we just kind of dropped off, and then because recognition by the city of Hallandale, so they want to have me back on again.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very nice. So if we want to do Friday, what time are we thinking?
I think same time works, 9:00.
Yeah.
Right, and put it in my.
Seems to be when we get the most traction, get some people, commenting and stuff. Maybe we could introduce Kellyanne and Marianne.
Oh yeah.
Marianne's a Friday night person.
Well, I think Marianne we can do because we'll just I you know what, we haven't promoted it enough. I mean, if you have any groups that you belong to on Facebook or whatever, maybe share that and invite people to come.
No,
I mean, and everybody else who hasn't subscribed or hasn't followed us on Facebook or YouTube, like, please join us and tell your friends about us.
Well, they're not only on YouTube tonight.
We got questions too. I would love to.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bill and I had a conversation earlier that pretty much took us off of YouTube. So
only one video, but that's stupid.
No, well, tonight's video is not going to be on YouTube either. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have some old videos that they can comment on, I guess. But I mean, I think I'm the only subscriber on our YouTube channel, so I don't know.
So we only lost Lynn.
Oh, I need to get on that and subscribe. Then I didn't know I wasn't subscribed to it.
Yeah, you guys have to get on and subscribe to it.
Okay.
What you missed earlier? Then I got to get running. I got to move. But we were talking about California's new law new bill trying to be passed by Gavin Newsom. And it's Bill AB 2098, which is he wants only the COVID vaccines to be given to patients. You can't use any alternative medicine. And if you do, he's saying that the doctors are now pushing misinformation and dissemination of, whatever.
Right.
And he's gonna bring you before the board, the medical board, and he wants your license suspended.
That guy.
So basically, it's communism.
So
Government
Sounds like it
basically,
to me.
they're gonna be short of cops, and they're gonna be short of doctors. So I would open a hospital on the border where Nevada is.
They're gonna have CNAs giving out vaccinations.
Well,
CNAs and taco trucks.
they're gonna lose a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
No, that's insane. I mean, like, how does, oh gosh. Wait, I mean, okay, this is the 5th time I said this today. Did you hear about Boston University creating, they did a gain of function research and developed a new COVID vaccine that has an 80% death rate and is as easily contagious as Omicron.
It has 80%.
Watch this video get taken down again.
Listen, we got took down before it got started.
Are you saying it's a vaccine?
No. It's a gain of function research.
Oh.
So like how Wuhan created whatever they created, right? So we are, BU had created something new, which is a combination of the original COVID with the Omicron virus.
So, and now that's going to escape somehow. Some way that's going to get out.
It's definitely going to escape.
So how are they allowed to get away with doing this?
And it's funded by the same people. Now, okay, so I have heard this news through the Daily Wire, and I think, what's his name again? Damn it.
Fauci.
No, not Fauci. Fauci was the one who funded it. But basically, like, they're two sources. I heard this from 2 different sources. So they're completely different sources. And they all said the same thing, that there's a gain of function research in BU, and they created this new virus, a new strand of COVID.
An 80% death rate.
Yes. And that it was 2% death rate before, right? So I think when it was, back before the virus started to mutate, I think people died, like the death percentage was higher. So I think they're trying to do something about that. And I don't know.
So, Democrats can't win the election, so they're like, we need a stronger virus. Let's get one of those 80% death rates. And then shut down the government, cut a check.
Right back in position. There should never be a research allowed in that capacity.
No, look, there are physicians and immunologists and virologists that argue this. It's been debated because they say that in order to predict what the natural mutation would be, they would have to do research like this. And I'm like, can we just wait for it to come and then find ways to treat people?
So why we gotta go kill people to figure out what's gonna happen with people?
Yeah.
That's the best kind of science, Bill.
That's scary because that can get out. And once it gets out, we can't stop it.
Well, you know how some billionaires have been dying to reduce the population, right?
Yeah, but don't they realize they can be part of that? Stuff. They don't realize they could be part of that reduction if they get it?
No, they have separate vaccines from what we do. We have the tester vaccine.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So anyway, on this note, let's hold on. Let's sign off and reconvene on. We got some hot topics to talk about on Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about some local politics here, like Sunny Isles, North Miami Beach.
And COVID 2023 apparently. By the way, just throwing this out there was a movie made during COVID-19, the pandemic, called Songbird about COVID-23. And that was the one that shut the world down for real, forever. So watch that movie, Songbird. I'm giving that to you guys. I'm giving it to anybody who's watching right now. Watch Songbird. Watch and see if it wasn't close to what your pandemic experience was and what it could be like if we were to go through it again. So Songbird. Google
Man.
Well, if I wasn't going to have a bad night's sleeping already. Thank you, Mo.
it. Listen, man, we got to prepare, man, before they start giving you tester vaccines, Bill. So,
That's the vaccine they give to the new senator.
and funny enough, the billionaires were the ones with the safer vaccine thingies. Listen, Glenn, the movie.
No, you know the one that they were giving the public. It's not the same one that the FDA passed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
really? I didn't know that.
watch Songbird, man. I'm telling you, this sounds like Songbird because it's coming. It's next year too. Oh man, it's right on time.
Right on time.
They call the thing COVID-23 in the movie.
Well, I'm so glad we ended the conversation with that, Lynn. Thank you for letting me know that. And Mo, always a pleasure.
Most certainly. Listen, again,
At least I lived till I was 54, I could say.
yeah, listen, I think we're all gonna live till about this next year. No,
We'll be fine, you guys. We'll be fine because
I'm gonna be fine.
we avoided the first batch.
I'm covered by the blood. So, so anyway, listen, guys, let's reconvene again Friday night. Let's do this show. Let's talk about these local politicians as well as COVID-23.
You guys bring some Broward and Palm Beach characters,
All right.
especially the local ones.
You got it, man.
The municipal candidates that are nonpartisan.
I'll see if I can get one to come on the show. Maybe she'll be interested. I'll try and bring her on, see what she says. I'll send out an invite. Send out a fishing hook and see who catches. So
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you everyone for listening and watching us.
All right, and until we meet again, everyone enjoy your night from BLM
I'm gonna
Live.
sleep until we meet
From
again.
BLM
Thank you, guys.
Live. What did you say, Phil?
I don't think I'm going to sleep until I see you guys again on Friday now. Thanks.